Sup, creeps, and welcome to Creepy Confidential. Is Mothman really a supernatural force predicting impending doom? Did Apollo 11 really land on the moon in 1969? Did you find out if that was a cult that was living just 2 doors down that you waved to every single day when you got your mail? If these are the things you ponder when you should be sleeping, then I would like to welcome you to Creepy Confidential. I'm your host, Noelle, your resident weirdo Wisconsinite. I open case files on my favorite cryptids, cults, conspiracies, and other worldly creepy, with new cases, live broadcasts, and local lore. Some stories have been lost with time. Others are perhaps still happening today in your local communities, right up under your very creepy noses. So get ready, creeps. It's Creepy Confidential. Sup, creeps, and welcome to Creepy Confidential After Dark. It has been a minute, and I am so glad to see you guys. First off, welcome to Creeptober. As you can see, a little creepy in here. My name's Noelle. I am the weirdo Wisconsinite and host of Creepy Confidential. As usual, I want to start by saying thank you so much for joining me here on Creepy Confidential After Dark. It's always a fun time to get together with friends. And tonight, I have something special. I have a group of guests. Well, at least one guest as of right now. We're hoping more will join us later. And I hope you will join us. Don't forget to give Creepy Confidential a like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube, and become a member of the Creep Nation today. To check out our other creepy content, you're going to head over to creepyconfidential.com for the entire After Dark replay library. You can check out all the other guests that have been here for all the great conversation. The full audio episode catalog is also available on the website, and you're going to check out the events page to see what's coming in our future, and if there's any lectures that might be in your town. Tonight, though, I want to welcome you back to After Dark. This is my time to catch up with new creeps, old creeps, and fellow creators and investigators to talk about the fringe and Fortean world. Tonight, Creepy Confidential welcomes the very anticipated reunion of Girls Investigating Ghosts in the Supernatural, which was formed in 2008 with a group of vet techs and friends to search for the answers and evidence of paranormal activity. A few highlights of our group include some of the most historical buildings of the Upper Peninsula of the Pacific Northwest over in Washington State, including Starvation Heights, which I know you guys have heard me mention before. That is the cabin of the serial killer, Linda Hazard. The Cola Cole Schoolhouse in Kingston, Washington, and the home of the producer and also the film location of the horror movie 20 out in Bothell, Washington, where the owner came to us telling us that the set workers had claims of paranormal activity. So those are just a few highlights. We're going to be talking about quite a few. Tonight, we're not only going to relive some of our highlight evidence moments, but also going to learn what the team has been up to and how they're feeling, about the paranormal world today, because a lot of things sure has changed. So stay with me because we're also going to be showing you the 2009 Gigs Halloween horror movie short. It was a scream, baby. It was so much fun. The presentation will no doubt kick off Creeptober for you. So stick around and enjoy the very retro footage and nostalgia. As always, questions will be answered from the comments, because I know you guys love to ask paranormal questions. And even if you're catching this in the replay, feel free to ask those paranormal questions. You guys know I absolutely love the paranormal. So creeps, now, if you're ready, on to the show. Hello, Kim.
Hello.
It is great to have you. Now,
Yeah.
real quick, as before we get going, those other creeps out there that know us, Gigs is a larger group. Tonight, we were also supposed to have Phil and Shelby. We have reached out to them. We hope that they can join us later on in the show, but we've known each other a long time. So we're going to
Yep.
carry this and we're going to have some fun. So,
Yep.
Creep Nation, this is Kim, a girl's investigating ghosts and the supernatural. Welcome to Creepy Confidential.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to be here. This is so much fun. I haven't done anything paranormal in a long time, so it's fun to be here, and I'm excited. I like to be part of
Yay!
it.
I talk
Yeah.
about gigs all the time. Anybody who has come to the Paranormal 101 lectures, they have seen the logo, they have seen the pictures, they have seen video, they have heard audio. So you have been more places probably than you know.
I love that for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bring up gigs all the time too. I'm like, did you know that I was a part of a ghost investigating group? My kids think that's
Yeah.
also the coolest thing ever. So yeah, and I still
love
wear
it.
my hoodie. I still
I
wear my
know. Show us
hoodie.
your shirt. Show us your
Yeah,
shirt. That is
yeah.
the original, and the back has the original logo on it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't really turn around, but she's
That's
there.
okay.
She's
She's
there with our
there.
little Casper ghost looking cutie pie. I think
Yep.
Did Phil draw that? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He sure did. Now, if you're looking for those, now the logo that you're going to see and the logo that is currently on the screen, first of all, as you can see, the Creepy Confidential's over to the side today. Gigs is front and center. This was one of the rebrand that we did once you and I kind of continued and did some investigations, which were also featured on the lectures. My hubby had a chance to redo that logo for us. So Ghost Dog is in the comments. He says, "Hi, Kim." Very, very cool. It's kind of like a little meet and greet.
Oh, I see. Very cool.
So I have questions, and then I have a slideshow. I'm very excited, and I have got that golden retriever energy right now. I'm very, very excited.
I can't wait to run this and get back into it. I'm like, I want to see all the things. I'm very excited. So
yeah. Now, so everybody who's watching, this is retro footage, guys. This is from 2008. This is almost 20 years ago. This was equipment. No one had this crazy equipment. We were doing things kind of the old school way before they had all these new opinions. So you can just sit down, take a break, have a cup of tea. Okay? There we go. So let's kind of start off. I'm always interested with other people I talk to, and I'm sure you and I have talked about this. But what was your first thing that interested you in the paranormal? Can you kind of recall that?
I think that it was just personal experiences. We had a house growing up that I thought was haunted, and my sister and I there was a crawl space above our 2 bedrooms, and our bedrooms would meet in the hall and kind of face each other. And there'd be times we would hear footsteps in the attic-y crawl space upstairs, and we would meet in the hall in the middle of the night because we would follow the sounds on our ceilings, and we'd open our doors at the same exact time, 2, 3 in the morning. And we'd be like, do you hear that?
It's like a horror movie.
And, we kind of got used to it over time. I was probably between like 12 and 13 at this point, and we would just like get friendly with it, and it would just be a part of the house growing up. And then we had a lamp downstairs, one of those pendant lights, and it would turn on and off for and this is a brand new house. I also want to point out this was a brand new built house, so it was not an electrical issue as far as we could tell. And our Pomeranian would bark at the light like constantly. And so we were just convinced.
No.
Yeah. So we were convinced that it was haunted. And I think that's really what sparked it, was just the house being really weird growing up. And I wanted to explore more. I wanted to find out more. So
I feel like it's either people who have had nothing happen, like I didn't grow up with a experience like that, or it's something like that. I've had people mention that in the lecture setting where they're like, I had this experience when I was a kid, and it messed with me, or it stuck with me, or enter thing here. So it's interesting. either we've talked about that a long time ago, or I'm old and I have completely forgotten about that conversation. So I was kind of curious about that, about how you kind of got started. Now, were you interested in collecting evidence kind of from a young age, or did you kind of decide that later where you're like, I need to prove what's going on?
I think when I found other people that were equally interested in either finding proof or debunking, I think we were really lucky as a group. We had, I think it was like 50-50. Half of us wanted to prove that it wasn't real, and the other half of us wanted to delight in it being real. And I think once we found people that were similarly interested, I think that's when I felt excited to pursue it further. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys will have to excuse me. I sound froggy and I have a cough drop. 'Tis the season. And I think you nailed it. I think part of us was like that dare to be great. Oh my God, everything it's a ghost. That's a ghost. This is a ghost. This is this.
Yeah.
And everybody, and I was the other side. I'm like, oh, but this, we were even talking about it before. I'm like, but the doorway technically could be, that's just how my brain works. I would rather say that I've proven everything false, because then I can prove that it's true. And that's just how my brain works. So I know it felt like we had that perfect mixture that was right away. Did you have fear? Were you fearful of that encounter, or were you just like inquisitive?
I was scared.
You're scared?
I was scared. I was scared. I grew up as a kid who was easily scared by the unknown. I was a fearful child. So I thought, I was challenging some of the fear in me. Maybe it was just part of being in my early 20s where I'm like, I'm going to face my fears and I'm going to do the things that are scary. But I was scared. I was scared pretty easily. So, but I think it was a challenge. I think that was kind of the point, was to be in a fearful situation and then be able to process it. And plus, when you have a bunch of techs and science-minded people, I think we're all relatively science-minded humans. It's pretty easy for us to rationalize our fear. And I think that other people going, no, that's just the wind. That's this, that made me feel better. I was like, okay, it's not as scary.
You're like, okay. Yeah. Oh my, you're not kidding though. As I've been chit-chatting I was very excited when that I knew that I could at least have a conversation about gigs in a public setting once more. I am the archive keeper. I still have everything. And because that's just how I like that. That's how I work. I have the library here, and I was going through evidence. I love the pieces where you could tell you walked into something that you didn't like, because you were like, you were so mad and sad because you couldn't run. You were either going up the steps somewhere and you couldn't run backwards, and you couldn't go sideways because it was black, pitch black. Yeah, it was. But it was also fun to listen to. Now that I know what you've said, it's also fun to listen to you. Like you were able to explore that fear and go, yeah, but what's that over there? You were instantly like, you would grab it and you would go with it, which is really, really cool.
That is a really kind way of putting my phobia of the unknown. Because in my head, I listen to clips and I'm like, listen to me, like literally fighting the panic to like leave. Like you said, you can tell I want to run away. I'm like, I got to get out of here. But that's a very kind way of putting me into my fear. So thank you. Yeah, because I want to run.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
But you could also hear it in my you could tell though I was like but you could hear my voice start to do this. I love it. It cracks me up every time. I love this. So I think I might steal this. So it says science versus seance. And I love that approach. It's true, because you have like that, you can't prove one and then you have science on the other side. So you have kind of both sides of the fence, where that spiritualist era where every bump and whatever is a ghost. And then you have the side of, I want every readout that I can scientifically to try and prove that it's real.
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to excuse me again. I have my lists, everybody. Now, we've been to several locations over the years, including, driving all around. Do you still have a Holy Grail location?
Yeah, it's Starvation Heights.
That was your Holy Grail?
Oh yeah, because it has such lore. It has such lore. I felt like a celebrity. We were one of the few people ever allowed to go on the property with the permission of the owners, hand guided by the family that lived on that property. I feel like that was a special because if you know anybody who grew up in Olalla, like my best friend grew up in Olalla, and she's like, you've been there? Like the fact that
oh yeah,
they're
babe.
like, how did you get there? You got invited? What do you mean?
No,
like those
I walked up to him and asked.
yeah. And then we were allowed to. So I mean, it really is super special to me because I don't think anybody else went there after we did. I know there were tours and things led by the what's the author's name?
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson. I know he led some tours at some point, but as far as being an individual group of people that wasn't profiting off of the property in any way, that I think that's the most special. That's like and plus I don't think I've ever been, I've never felt more surrounded by something than I did at that location.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that. That was a huge spot and we took a huge chance. I still felt like I felt like I could have had a gun pulled on me when I walked up to them and asked that. But the fact that they said yes, and the fact, that all it took was a simple question and they knew that we were not out to, we're not malicious. We're not malicious people. We're not coming in with voodoo dolls or anything. We just want to document. So that was, I did not know that about you.
Yeah, I went home and had a dream that a woman was standing in the corner of my room that night. And I don't know why that just stuck. In like a white dress, like standing in the corner. And I wasn't sure if I was awake or asleep.
That's gross.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, nobody follow me home. So I just felt, and the residual haunting energy, like the footsteps and the things that we heard just existing, like we could audibly hear them on with the headphones that we were using, which were just shooting range headphones. We were able to hear what I assume was residual haunting footsteps up and down the stairs as we're sitting there live, actively just hanging out, sitting in, one of the areas of the house. And I did not feel alone. And there's very few places besides maybe the cemetery, maybe Pioneer, that I was like, I am not alone, Yeah,
so. I agree. I think there are many cemeteries, but for some strange reason, we really liked that one. And that's why we're going to be chatting about that one for sure. About that.
What about you?
So I love these huge like TB hospitals. We're really close to Trans-Allegheny and we're really close to Waverly. Now, for me, Waverly is at the top of my list, not because it's famous, but for some strange reason, when I look at, I am not, first of all, before I say this is going to sound like I'm having like weird spiritualist feelings about that. This is not, it just gives me a feeling. When I look at the image of Waverly, it reminds me of when I watched The Frighteners and the first time you see the house that the bad family lives in and it looks like it's breathing. That's what that hospital feels like to me.
Okay.
And I've never been there. But for some strange reason, I'm like, the windows feel like there should be people staring out of them. Like seen too many movies? Sure. Seen too many paranormal books? Possibly. But for some strange reason, that one I cannot get out of my head. But it's not easy to get into. And if you want to do an overnight, you have to have a huge bankroll. So sadly, that's what it is. But
gotcha.
It's a gorgeous, in the most Gothic way possible, a gorgeous hospital. But it's decaying, it's falling apart. But it's one of those old places. Now Mike, of course, made a comment. What is this? Noelle is the Liscarian. What is that? Oh, like librarian. Oh, I get it.
Oh, cute nickname. All right.
See, Slow. Now, before we move on though to the next part, speaking of Starvation Heights, do you know that I found her book? And I'm not talking a new version. I have a second edition that was printed when she was still alive.
No way. That's very cool. Did not know that.
Can I show it to you?
Mhm.
Hold on. Only because you said it is your holy grail. And
Yeah.
I am the archivist and I keep and look for everything. I have a small collection of books that you can't find.
Okay.
There she is.
It gives me the creeps. The book gives me the creeps.
Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she is
Burfield.
not.
Her middle name is Burfield, or is that her maiden name?
Because she didn't want to dump that maiden name.
Yeah.
Yep. And this one, I have to be very careful with it. There she is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I was so excited when I found this.
She just looks yucky. She just looks.
I know. Just, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one was reprinted in 1922. She was still around and kicking.
Wow.
So I keep
very cool.
I hunted that down because of our history of going there. Mm-hmm. I had to. Nobody else would really appreciate it, but you would.
Maybe Greg Olson would appreciate it.
Yeah, but he'd probably be like, oh, yeah, well, I have my signed first edition, whatever.
He's like, I have a cutout of the cabinet with her handwriting in it.
I know. Or he has the cabinet, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Actually, down in Gig Harbor. So in Gig Harbor, there's the bathtub, part of the cabinet, and part of the steps. Don't quote me on the steps. There's a small museum that he put down there. It exists.
You mean the bathtub that we were standing in? That one? Mm.
That one. Mm-hmm. That one.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, how cool are we? Pretty crazy. Yep.
So everyone knows I love a good slideshow. So let's do this here. I'm going to put this here. So we're going to talk a little bit about gigs, but I've put together a couple things here before I get going here. Let me make sure everything works properly. Yep, perfect. So let's talk a little bit about how gigs was formed. So we talked briefly about vet techs. So you, me, Shelby, Sherry, we all worked at a vet ER together, and that was back in 2008. Was when we decided we were going out. And I think that it all started because we all worked, at some point we worked third shift or second shift.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling between the trauma of dealing with what we were dealing with, you'd have a lot of very stressful situations. And then all of a sudden it's quiet and we'd all sit around and have a moment to talk about it. It was a lot of like, wait a minute, you like watching taps? You like watching taps? Mm-hmm. I like watching taps. And all of a sudden it turned into this friendship. And I don't know how the exact moment started though, about how we decided what night we were going to go out. Do you remember that? Or did we just kind of decide we were going?
Well, was it in October? Was it the beginning of October that we went out?
It was October 30th, 2008 was our first night.
Okay, so it was Halloween almost. It was the day before Halloween? Okay, because I distinctly remember that when I started at the emergency clinic that we worked at, I was working late and Shelby was teaching me how to work on, all your guys' paper stuff. And I want to say something, I think we heard a kennel door close or heard something that shouldn't have been.
There was random noises that happened there.
And I think because we heard a sound and we couldn't explore what caused the sound, I want to say that Shelby was like a ghost and like made a joke about it. And I think that's kind of what started it. And then I think you or her, somebody was just like, let's go to the cemetery. And I'm like, all right. I think it was that simple.
So, and that was part of it. Is I mentioned like before I started working there, I had been to the Miller Woodlawn Memorial Park, and it was
Mhm.
me and my friend Heidi. We had been on the hill, and
Mhm.
this clip I have played many times, and it's two gentlemen, and we didn't
Yes.
know we caught the EVP until much later, where we were home and reviewing, and you hear two gentlemen go, "What did y'all do to this place?" And the second one goes, "Don't you touch her." And I mentioned that. And I think
Mhm.
everyone just kind of agreed and said, well, let's go there. It was
Yeah.
like, well, we have a, she's been there kind of situation. And that was where it started.
Mhm.
So I had to put together a clip. This is our very first night. We stopped at A&W to get burgers. I don't know if you can recall that or not, but this was us, our ragtag. We got a picture with the waitress and a random employee that was at the
Mhm.
center with us. So this was our very first night.
Mhm.
Now I wish that Phil was here, because he mentioned this in one of our videos, that he remembered when we were out there looking for Starvation Heights as well. This was after we had gone to the Memorial Park, and we
Mhm.
didn't know where it was. We had no clue how to get out there.
Mhm.
And we ended up down this road, and we looked down our night vision viewfinder. I don't remember why we had this. And it was like he could claim that something was in the sights right here.
Mhm. Yeah, we
And
hung out on that road for a long
for a
time.
while. Yeah, a
Yeah.
while. Like, I'm surprised the residents didn't come out and was like, "You guys got to move." But we weren't being crazy. We were just kind of
Mm-mm.
out there. So
Mhm.
it's very dark out there. For anybody who's been out there in Olalla, it is very, very dark, very heavy woods. It's either like mansions or these kind of like, I don't know how to say, like trailers almost, basically.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
they're very this or that. Now, the tricky part is in Washington State too, there's a lot of moisture, and there's a lot of these kind of orb-like shapes. So it's
Mhm.
very, very hard to get clear photos because it's very humid. Everywhere you go, it's freaking Washington. So it's very, very humid. And a lot of the images at night, these are our first ones. We were learning. So a lot of them are very blurry. But for some strange reason, we took a lot of images of this mausoleum. And I don't know why. For some reason, I think, and it was on multiple cameras. It's
I
like we were drawn to it,
I think we heard someone talking, if I remember
like a
correctly.
voice.
I thought we
Yeah.
heard someone talking, and then we debunked that it wasn't any of us. And then I think we just got fixated after that, trying to see if we
Yeah.
could see anything unusual.
Yeah. And this was just another one just to kind of show kind of what these little dots show up as, because it's rainy. It's always rainy there in Washington. So you're always at odds with the weather if you want to try and get clear images. And there's lots of pictures of the hills and things like that. But this was our first night. We literally just took pictures of a random flat memorial park
Yeah.
and
And this
in the middle of
whole
nowhere.
and this it's kind of like got like when you go on switchbacks on, when you go hiking and it's like switchbacks, that's kind of what this hillside cemetery was. It was like switchbacks that you could
Yeah.
drive up, but it would go flat and then it'd be up and then it would go flat again. And
Mm-hmm.
it's actually kind of an unusual location
Yeah,
for
and it's
a
on the side. It's like there's a part that's flat, and then the rest of it's like on the side of the hill.
Mhm.
And it and it's you should not be out there at night, because at the bottom of this hill is a not very nice part of town. So
Mhm.
you have to kind of gauge. You probably shouldn't have been out there, but we were.
Yeah.
Now, the next one is the house that we were talking about where this movie 20 was filmed. This is the house. I hate that house. It's creepy.
I immediately went, oh, the second
And
I
the
saw it.
dude was creepy. He
Mhm.
was so creepy. He had like just you walked in and
This is why I was so grateful. My husband goes, I thought it was girls investigating ghosts. And I said, listen, we needed Phil. We needed Phil. We needed a man there. We needed it to
Yep.
be safe. We needed him. And also we needed him for the comedic relief. Phil's so funny.
He put up with us so well.
Really did. But I mean, I can't fathom going to this house or some of the other locations that we had gone to without at least a male, not just because we couldn't protect ourselves, because I think we all would have kicked some booty, but I think just the presence of a male helped us, especially back then. We're all really young. You have to remember how young all of us were at the time. So we needed a little, like,
I was like 24, so you had to be even younger than me.
2009,
maybe I was like
2009 would
be
make
close.
me 22, 23. This was before I had kids, so young.
Yeah. It's wild. It's just crazy to think about it. But this is the house. This is what we rolled up at. Now he said I don't think I have it written down, but I remember him saying that in the garage they had some like film scaffolding and things, and the person that was setting up the scaffolding claims that they saw a woman. He couldn't produce any sort of written presentation of what the person saw. He couldn't take us to the garage, which I thought was kind of strange. And then in the house, we did have some things happen in the house, though.
We did, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we have Biggs, Babies Investigating Ghosts in the Supernatural.
Pretty much.
That's a rebrand.
Maybe my kids want to reboot the squad later.
Yeah. And then, so this is where this was downstairs. And now to get to there was like a straight down stairwell into nothingness. Mm-hmm. And it was a straight, like 90-degree where you see this chair kind of situation, and it burped down into the bottom of the steps. And we had all of our gear here. You can see our little strap of our camera bag for our DVR. Mm-hmm. And I hated this hallway.
Me too.
I hated it because it was almost like a funhouse effect. It was long. Their doors were set in, and it was like you couldn't control what could happen. I did not like this hallway.
If I remember correctly, at the end of the hall to the right, that is the bedroom, right? That one back bedroom we sat in with the little touchy light. And then there's a breaker box. And we tested that breaker box profusely to determine if that was what was causing any interference with our detector. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms. How many bedrooms were down there?
I think there was 4, because the room that you see the light on is where there was a like an ice chest. And remember, there were locks on the ice chest. I remember that.
But I remember now.
But I remember that. And then on the left-hand side, now figure this out. I can't remember basic instructions, but I can remember the full layout of the stupid hallway. So on the left-hand side, that's where that dude was in that room that was locked. He couldn't come out, and the door was locked, but you could see him every now and then move behind it, but you never heard a sound.
On the side, wasn't there a sliding glass doors to like downstairs outside? Aren't there sliding glass doors downstairs?
At the very, very, very end, there was a door, but not sliding glass doors. It was almost like that old glass. Like it probably should have been replaced. You know, it was like that single pane, because the house was, I think, built in the 60s or something like that, like single pane glass. But it's at like you take a left, and then the door and to go outside was right there. And then the breaker box was right there.
Okay.
And then the door, you can almost see the entrance to the door on the right-hand side. That's where we started getting activity, which we're gonna see here in just a few moments. So there's more in this house, but this hallway, the tennis ball never moved, in case anybody's asking. But this particular hallway, there was all kinds of things that, for some strange reason, you would hear like footsteps and things. Now let's.
What's your name?
Now you'll hear, this is our Radio Shack hack. This is back in the day for all you guys who have these brand new Whamadine pieces of equipment. Back in the day when you couldn't afford it, you could get on the internet and figure out how to buy a little radio from Radio Shack that I had, and then take it so that it would continue to scan. And that's what you're hearing. And this was in the sauna room upstairs. That's where you were getting, as soon as we got there, we started getting activity upstairs in the sauna room that was attached to the bedroom. Remember the mattresses that were just on the floor? And there was no dressing on them? It was just like random
Yeah.
mattress.
Yeah. I kind
So
of like,
weird.
part of my brain goes, was this a serial killer's house? And that's what we were, and then was he being haunted
crazy.
by his victims? Because it's
Yeah.
so, like, what's in the,
It's a lot. And it was
what's in the
sometimes it was,
freezer?
and there was like mimicking, and then there was a lot of men's voices, and then we got women's voices. Yeah. But this was right out the gate. We got this someone that said the name Gabe. So I'm just gonna play it one more time to make sure that whoever's listening can get a good listen on that one.
What's your name?
And that's just what we had it marked as from back in the day. That's not me marking these. So I have it already queued up. So this was once we had been walking around in the house. We were now in the living room. This is where he had all those weird like electrical health devices. I don't know how else to describe it. Like he used electrostatic for whatever. And we continued to get, we liked this device. We used it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this one.
Are we getting any readings now?
Sure that.
The dog.
It's like the same voice keeps following us from the beginning. It's kind of this slow.
Isn't that wild?
That's a trip.
It's a
I forgot
trip.
about that.
And it'd be one thing, and like so we have it on AM radio. And now it does, I don't think I had the like radio piece actually like removed. So it did still get voices, but that comes clearly over the top. And it says Ghost Hunter. And he keeps asking, like what's happening, what do you hear?
Yeah. Yes.
Because it had gone dead in this area. We didn't have anything, and then all of a sudden this came across. So I'm going to play this again one more time.
Are we getting any readings now?
Sure that.
It's like the same voice keeps following us from the beginning. It's kind of this slow.
That's wild. It still trips me out. Okay, so we're just kind of going through evidence. These are just cool highlights here.
He was very.
Here's the room.
Yeah, something I heard of that. If you touch this flashlight,
There's the weird static again.
Yeah.
It changes. It's like frequency changes.
That's exactly what it's doing. It's repeating what we're saying, everything we say. Are there more than one of you? Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Did you hear that?
I always love, I can always hear your laugh. It's great. I have a very distinct laugh, and you have a very distinct laugh.
Everyone always knows where I am because if I,
same, very, you can hear me from 2 rooms away.
Same.
And this one, so this was back in that room that we were describing at the very end of that hall, that right-hand room, that like bedroom. And it was mimicking us. It would, we would say something, and then it would say it almost, a second or 2 later. This was also the room where the first time I had ever been like touched by a paranormal entity. My hair.
I remember.
I
remember.
It was such a weird feeling. And it was, people are often like, it didn't touch my neck. It was like these hairs. If I have to, I always describe them as feathers, I'm pointing them. And it was like someone had lifted them and they fell back onto my neck. And baby Noelle just about got up and ran out of that room.
Yeah.
And that was that diode. We created that, Phil. I think Phil also created that little diode light so that you could, now they use, cat balls or little paranormal devices. They didn't have those things when we were doing this.
Yeah.
We were very innovative with what we
especially with the range headphones was such a, in fact, we talked about that on the Sci-Fi Channel when we did our interview. One of the cool things that we put out there as one of our special tools is that we really liked using gun range headphones to hear extra sounds.
Because it cuts all the high level out.
Mhm.
So all you hear is the super, like from here, like I'll say here down, like doing it in a
Mhm.
simple description.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was wild to have that simple piece of equipment. I mean, I used that was back when I was doing competitions all the time, and I don't know why I just thought it would be a good idea to use them. They worked great.
I think that we were in the early phases of trying that setup where someone just listens and then says what they hear. I think we were doing something like that before it became popular. And I'm not really sure why we did it, but I still get like goosebumps just hearing the radio do the skipping. Da, 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 da. It still
Yeah.
makes me go, oh, ooh.
Yeah.
So,
You're like, whoa, that's weird. I
yeah.
think it's something that you get used to hearing, but then it's when that voice comes
Mhm.
perfectly over the top, and it has nothing to do with the channels that are scanning.
Mhm.
That's where you're like, oh, okay, now I know what we're doing here. Like it was so wild. Now we talked about this two things. We talked about the crawling into the attic. I think that was before air. We were briefly mentioning that.
Yeah.
So this guy had an attic, and I when we were in the living room, he told us, "Well, you guys should wait till you guys get to the attic. There's a lot of activity up there." And we climbed, and it was one of those like you pull from the ceiling, like it's flush with the ceiling, and then you
Mhm.
pull from the ceiling, and then the steps like come down.
Mhm.
And at the time, we just didn't think it through. We all climbed right up into the
We did.
stupid.
Yeah. And none of us carried at the time or anything. I don't even think we had pepper spray or anything. I think we
No, just went right up there.
we sure did. Climbed right in.
I was like, that's insane. Now, when all of us were done, for the night, he gave us a preview of the movie. Now, I'll give my thought real quick, and then Kim can give her thought, because I think she took home more of what the movie was, and I took home more of what I saw in the intro of the movie. Because first of all, I'm a music person. The entire intro of the movie stole like from Nine Inch Nails music videos, all of it.
Mhm.
Like the way that they do the shots, the colors, the music, the entire thing was from the B-sides of one of the Nine Inch Nails albums. And I don't think he got permission to use it, because then when we saw it released, it wasn't on there.
Mhm.
So I think he was just using it as like a sizzle reel. And I was not impressed with that. I didn't really even care about the movie.
No. Well, the movie was trash. The movie
Okay.
was trash, in my opinion. And I'm not even like a horror movie connoisseur, but I'll tell you, I thought the movie
Yeah.
was trash.
No, I'll tell you what, my horror movie friends that review and do everything, I think they would appreciate your opinion, that you're able to give that and say that it was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't good. I remember parts of it, but I truly don't remember enough of it.
It used to be on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. It was.
Yeah. Ugh, crazy times. So if you find it,
I'll send it to you.
We'll have to send to share it with the Creep Nation, because I
Okay.
have I have
Uh-oh. I lost her.
Did you stay with me?
There you are.
Yeah.
You disappeared.
It dumped me on the internet. Stay with me, Creep Nation. Don't.
I was like, should I do a little jig? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, you're good at it. You just keep the ball rolling here. We're just gonna reconnect my share screen here. It looks like I'm still going. Luckily, there's another person in here. I'm on. It's because I'm on Wi-Fi, so it probably dumped it. That's okay. You okay? We're okay.
I'm good.
We're good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So moving on. Here is your favorite Starvation Heights.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure you have lots of great memories from Starvation Heights. So let's talk about it. So for those of you that are viewing, as you can see in the corners here, because this was used from my lecture. So I kind of just pushed it in here. So on the left-hand side here, you will see Linda Hazard. On the right-hand side, you will see her cabin. The original place, which we'll talk about what she did here in just a second, her original place burned down, and she took what she was doing out into the woods of Olalla to continue her practicing. She was known as the starvation doctor. She would starve her patients down, her rich patients most of the time, down to the point of delirium, and then they would give over their jewelry, land, you name it. And then once they were gone, deceased, she could perform the autopsy, she could sign the death certificate, and then she could dispose of the body. So she could do all of it, which was very convenient for her. We were able to go to this actual cabin that you see and the actual window. We're going to show you pictures here. Here she is making the news. Woman is under arrest, charged with starving her patient to death. So here is, I'm starting off with the window because I think this one is kind of strange because she appears to us. I don't know if you remember her appearing in the window or not.
I do.
Yeah. So this is consecutive shots. I took lots of shots during the day before we started, and then kind of shots as the day went on. Now you can start to see kind of her showing up here in the window. And then you can see a more developed face here. Now, go ahead and tell me that her face doesn't look like that face.
It looks just like.
Doesn't it look exactly like it? And people are like, well, you can, if you stretch your mind enough, yeah, it'll look like that. But man, it literally looks like she is walking towards the window because they're consecutive pictures. And that's the far away one, and then that's the close picture.
and there's nobody in there. There's nobody in there.
No, I think these were actually like we were figuring out kind of our game plan, what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see here what else we have. I did have to remove the audio just because of who else was speaking in the background.
Sure.
Now, inside of here, there are these, I probably should show this one first. So inside of this bathroom, the clawfoot tub that you see is where she would perform her autopsies. And this is where the, blood and liquids could then fall into this clawfoot tub. And then on the left-hand side are these cabinets. And while we were there, we discovered that these cabinets actually still had her handwriting in them. Mm-hmm. And they had either, sometimes you could see names. Sometimes I saw tablets. I saw pounds. It's like, so what was she trying to notate? It was we never did figure out what it was. And they of course didn't know. They just bought the property. They weren't related to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that bathroom was wild. Do you remember what the kids that would take a bath in that?
Oh, you know what? That's wild. I do remember though, one of the first things that I did was, and the internet was not as resourceful as it is today back at the time that we were doing our research, but I was able to pull up some samples of her handwriting at the time because I was like, I needed to know if this was her handwriting. And the owners were like, oh yeah, that is. I remember the moment going back and looking at handwriting from my photos and handwriting from anything I could find in some of her book. And you could pull up like a PDF version of the book at the time online. And the moment I saw that the handwriting was the same, because I have a personal interest in graphology and reading about writing and looking at writing.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm so interested. And to immediately recognize that is her handwriting, it was really intense. Like, what is she doesn't have paper. Why is she writing inside this cabinet? What kind of psychosis, like what's going on with this woman where she's like, let me scribe inside a cabinet? Like I just found that to be really intriguing. That was just wild.
Same. And the only other strange part is that I think this was in there because then she could put items in front of it and close the cabinet. where a piece of paper might be out on a cabinet or a dresser, where this would have bottles and satchels and tubes, you know, 'cause she did the enemas
Like-
and things like that.
That almost looks like it says Clark. Something
It does.
Clark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's wild because there's two pieces of it. There's this one, and then I have a couple other stills of image of pieces that are from like the door of it. It's like she just turned it though and just like jotted it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, think about it. When you're that hungry, you're nuts. So maybe that's part of it. Ghost Dog asked an interesting question for those that are listening in. Did she ever do anything with the land or anything like that? Now, from what I could find, is a lot of it, she was a hoarder when it came to things like that. My feeling is that she was wanting to skip town. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Because she was under fire. She got under fire real quick. And then she got caught.
Yeah. Well,
She
she left
didn't
the
have time.
incinerator on the property. She didn't demolish anything. So
Mhm.
leaving the incinerator intact was kind of a damning evidence. It would seem like if you were going to try to, you know, at least try to hide a little bit.
Well, she got sick. She got sick and
believed in
died.
her own medicine, unfortunately, and it wasn't.
She got sick, and then she tried to do a treatment, and then she died in that bedroom that we were in.
That makes sense why she would haunt it.
Yeah, right.
See why
She
she's
died
there.
hungry.
I bet. And then there was Shelby leaving. Do you remember her leaving little wafers all over the place?
Yeah, and I think you might have it because I have video of me pulling Necco wafers out of my pocket everywhere, but I don't have any video of her.
I thought it was Shelby. I remember there's a few of us that I'm not an instigator naturally on these types of investigations.
I thought they were hungry.
Well, I bet they were, girl. I bet they were hungry. So it was you.
Yeah.
I thought it was Shelby leaving little snackies all over the place. That was
No,
you, okay?
Because I had brought Necco wafers because we also went to the cemetery. Old Pioneer. I had brought Necco wafers because those children were of that time frame where those would have been popular candy. So I had a half a pack of Necco wafers in my pocket because I left half of them for the kids at the cemetery. Which is, I know, it's nuts.
Okay, but we also left roses. We also left a few little roses and nice things, and there was lovely singing, and it was.
We left a card.
Yeah,
we left a card out there. It really, I think, it meant a lot to us. Now this was the basement, the dirt basement. Oh. Now, what is not pictured here, I wish I would have got a better picture of it. Do you remember they described a room that was in the middle of this room that was just 4 small walls and a slidey door on the front? Oh my God. So that it was used
solitary confinement, right? Isn't that what the whole point was?
I think it was because when you're dying, you're moaning and groaning, and she would probably put them down there long enough to basically just check and go, "Are you dead yet?" Because she didn't want to hear it. You know, she can't be bothered because of this craziness.
Yeah.
And this huge mound, these like weird dirt mounds in the corner. I asked them if they had ever investigated what this was, and they told me no, they didn't want to know. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
You live on one of the most historical Pacific Northwest serial killer houses, and you don't want to know? I thought that was crazy. Yeah. So these could be something more than dirt because it was hard. It was like almost like clay, like hard clay.
It was hard. I remember kicking it with my foot a little to see the density of it. It was hard.
Yeah, that was wild. So that's Starvation Heights. Is there any? I think that's the last one of Starvation. Was there anything in particular you wanted to add about Starvation Heights before we move on?
I think that we were able to differentiate pretty much between what we were considering residual haunting sounds when we would have the range headphones on and all of the background noises were kind of muted. I think, I don't know if you listened, but I know that Shelby and Phil both listened. I was like, do you hear this? And then I was like, somebody stop the dog from walking, because there was a dog that was there. It was a boxer, and it was walking around. You'd hear his little click, 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 little nails on the floors downstairs. But we would sit in that window where that photo is taken. It's like a landing. So there was like stairs and this little landing edge of a room that was like a bedroom. It served as a bedroom. And we sat up there and we just listened.
Yeah,
and
it sounded like her, like she was coming up, and they sounded like Edwardian short heels. If anybody knows what those little boots look like, they are thin-soled leather, small kitten heel boots, and they have a very specific sound, and that's
like
exactly what they sounded like.
It's like a thump with a clicky clack overtone. I don't know how else to describe it. And it was nonstop. I mean, like, you could just sit and listen to what sounded like someone going up and down and up and down and moving around. And I thought that was wild because you could hear it in real time, and it didn't seem to be reactive to communication, to instigation, to any kind of obvious thing. It just was seemingly going on in the background. It was really strange. And I remember thinking, like, this is just like reaching back into the past and overhearing what it might have sounded like. It was really cool.
It was. And I think it's one of those, she strikes me, just as of what we have learned, she strikes me as a control freak. And I have a feeling she was constantly roving that house and that property. And I have a feeling that is what we're hearing. I think that pacing.
Yep, that's what I got. Pacing. And you know what? People probably paced too. The patients probably felt like little caged animals and paced.
And they were probably uncomfortable, cramping from all of, from day-long enemas all day. How painful. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that place has, and the part that wasn't captured in our investigation, because there really wasn't a way to capture, was that right outside the front of the cabin, there's a very large ravine. Like you walk a short amount and there's a very large ravine. So the patients that maybe when it came, I don't know how to describe it, the family wanted to pay for them to get, to take care of the body. She would pocket the money, say that she took care of the body because the family wouldn't want them back because they're sick. And then she would then throw them out into the ravine for nature to take care of them.
Well, and there was a lot of fear around illness at this time because there wasn't a lot of understanding of illness and how there was germ information was still new. You have to remember during like the flu pandemic, even all of this, they didn't know. And so it was almost like bad luck to bring a body back that passed unexpectedly. And a lot of these people were sick.
You didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah. So you're right. It sounds unusual, but getting the bodies back to bury them. She wasn't herself when she was hungry. He's right.
a little levity there.
But I mean, I had thought initially when I was learning about this, that it was so strange that they didn't want to bury their family members, and knowing what I know now about that time frame, it makes a lot of sense that they were like, no, go ahead and, And she did have an incinerator. She did burn some of the remains, but maybe that's after she got tired of chucking them. I don't really know.
Yeah, well, and even then, if you don't want to use the wood that it's going to take to warm your house, then why? There's just so many things, so many bad things about what she did. And I wish that they featured her more when they talk about serial killers, just because, they always talk about men to women, I think is the most one that's brought up, or they talk about women that poison men, where she's kind of her special breed. And it's awful because she could control every single side of what happened. which made her diabolical, absolutely diabolical. So having said that, we have something a little more lighthearted to move on to next.
Okay.
Because you mentioned it earlier, in 2009, the Sci-Fi Ghost Hunters put out a call for a paranormal contest. And this was when TAPS, or Ghost Hunters, was really big. And we decided to put ourselves out there and see how it goes. I have 2 clips prepared. The first one is, I think Shelby caught the commercial. We had already sent in our clip. We were waiting to hear something, and she caught the commercial for it. And you will see that most of it is us, which is pretty wild. So here goes.
We've narrowed down the field. Log on to sci-fi.com/ghosthunters/contest to see the finalists and all the videos in the Ghost Hunters Paranormal Contest. The winning pair will be announced Halloween night. Only on Sci-Fi.
Tell me why 75% of that is my editing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it was.
I'm like,
I remember filming walking up and down that hill for that intro. I remember filming that.
I was so mad. So we did some, spoiler alert, we didn't win, but we were very confused because we saw this and we thought, baby, that's us. We're the entire clip. And we didn't win. But oddly enough, they have scrubbed the internet of this contest. I can't find it anywhere.
I know. I went looking for it too when we were talking about it, and I noticed the same thing.
Yep. And I thought, well, that's very odd. So I have our entire submission. I think it's like a 2-minute video. If you want to watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it. You and Shelby sitting on a desk or something, I feel like, for part of it.
And you're our coordinator. You're like our job.
That's right. With my little braids and my
details. Yeah. We're all part of it. But
So
I must say the transformation in the beginning, because TAPS did it, that's why I did it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
What's going on?
I was obsessed with Godsmack.
hey, what's up? Hey guys, it's Kim.
Baby.
Hey, listen, I was just talking to a couple people out in the area, and I've actually gotten a tip on a really excellent location.
All right, on.
Hey, so it's the cemetery. It's actually out here in Olalla. I talked to a couple people. They're saying that it's off the beaten path a little bit, but it's gotten actually a lot of activity. You gotta hike a little bit to get there.
You got a case in Olalla for us.
Good. Yeah, this cemetery actually has tombstones from, the mid 1800s to early 1900s. It's actually during the time of the flu pandemic out here in Seattle, so it might be pretty good. We might get some good stuff out there.
Should we take it?
Absolutely.
Let's get the team together.
All right, sounds good. I'll get the team together and we'll go.
Oh man.
I gotta mute it because this says, can you hear it?
No.
Okay, good. It has Godsmack. So
Yeah.
I gotta. Oh, we're so cute. See our whole video.
Shelby, and I am a registered veterinary technician, which you actually have already seen. I work at an animal emergency hospital with Noelle. The reason that I want to do this and be in this field is because I want people who have had those experiences to be validated. I am the skeptic of the group, and I want to be able to make sure that every last bit has been debunked before I say it's haunted.
That's true. She wants to debunk everything. My name's Noelle. I'm a veterinary assistant, and she actually found me not too long ago when we started doing this ghost hunting gig. And I have really been studying the paranormal / supernatural since I get a library card. I've always found ghosts and kind of the other side very interesting to me. I'm also a big history buff, so before we go on any investigations, I'm like the, hey, did you know this? I'm kind of the nerd of the group.
Very much so.
But that's when I think it really keeps us into it, and those little extra tidbits, we really kind of thrive off of each other. So I think gigs would be the next best ghost hunters because we really bring everything to the table. We bring new equipment, we try new things, we go to those places that just because you haven't seen it on TV, we still go. We also believe that ghosts just don't haunt at night. We go during the day. We think if they're going to be there and there's going to be activity, there's going to be activity.
And even though we're a bunch of girls who giggle and carry on, we don't scare easy.
Has anyone on your team ever had a paranormal experience? Please describe it.
I personally have not. That's why they consider me the skeptic. So I have not. Ready and willing for it, though.
Yeah, I think Shelby's always kind of like waiting for that moment to be great. I've never really had an in-person experience. I have done ghost hunting, just kind of kitty ghost hunting, and I had some voices that were on an EVP, and that's what sparked my interest. I remember going back and I heard two guys talking to me, and from that moment, I was like, okay, I need to be in this.
What I think the gigs team would take to be convinced that a place was haunted is evidence, evidence, evidence. Whether it's personal, whether it's catching an EVP, catching night vision, whatever, it needs to be evidence and it needs to be able to back itself up. So pieces of evidence put together, not just one thing, but many things. So our favorite location that TAPS did, and I'm not kidding you, this was the most exciting, and every time it comes on TV, I just get so excited. Okay, so it was St. Augustine's Lighthouse in Florida. When he leans over, that apparition leans over, it was the coolest, and you almost made the skeptic a believer.
In like an instant. Yeah, just watching that where that little face pops over, it made us want to go there instantly.
And we will.
And we will. However, we think something that would add to an awesome experience like that, where there is definite activity, we have a different piece of equipment. And I typically use one of these little digital audio recorders. However, I actually use these for gun shoots. And what they do is it's basically like broadcasting the EVP directly into your ear. And it sound deadens out all the loud sounds. So it's basically like you're listening to an EVP while you're there.
They work so good.
It's awesome. So little piece of equipment. We would think this would definitely add to a hunt like that. So give it a try.
I think I don't know why we didn't win.
Obviously, we should have won.
Yeah.
We should have won.
I know, but I think it was equipment. I think that's what it was for. And darn.
All I can remember is Shelby and her ponytail hair piece in that video. I will never forget that. Shelby has short hair, and she's like,
and that was my weave.
She's wearing the sassiest ponytail. Gosh, I will not forget that. She's got this ponytail, and she's fierce with it too. She's like,
she was like, can I wear your hair? I'm like, yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have like crazy long hair. I've never had like crazy long hair, but yeah, that was good times. So that was our submission. I thought that was just like a good walk down memory lane,
Yeah.
You were like, baby Kim. Did you see Davidson's tail bumper car?
No, I didn't.
It was at the very beginning. You're like at the desk and you're telling us about the case, and all of a sudden you see this little tail. Yeah.
Cute.
He was always part of whenever you guys came over, he was part of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, so remember I was telling you about my my radio friend? Here she is. Strange Talk is here. Welcome, Strange Talk. I was just telling them about the attic incident where I was letting her that I called in to tell you about the attic incident where we all crawled in. So here comes Old Pioneer. Now, I think one of the coolest things about this was that Shelby said it best. It said it feels like not only are we watching them, but that like they're watching us, like everywhere we went. We got something every single time we went there, and we almost just wanted to go there to hang out. I think we did.
Yeah,
I think we did.
And it wasn't, and I don't even know how we found this cemetery. Like, it was like, I just remember hiking up like this. We park on the side of a random road. I can't remember where it is anymore. And we just climb up a little hill, and I don't know. It was so obscure, but it was so peaceful. Like, this is one place I never felt scared. I felt so serene and calm and peaceful.
And
Look at it.
How could you? Look at it. It's beautiful. The whole place looks like this.
Mm-hmm. And the way the sun would filter through the trees and this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like otherworldly, like,
yeah.
In that scene in Twilight where they go to the flower meadow and Edward,
oh my gosh.
And they're like,
but yes,
it's like that. It's like magical. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, there's something about it. And because Washington is very humid and misty, it really is like that. Yeah, it really is like that. And there's little things like this around. I don't know, because it's not accessible to cars.
Exactly.
And you have to hike up there to get there. And it's just a cool place.
Mm-hmm.
And then now there's a lot. I know it's an odd random stick, and everyone's like, "Why did you put a picture of a stick?" So there's a lot of unmarked graves in this cemetery. Mm-hmm. So I think they were working on, even back then. You could get. I have it in that. I still have all of the catalog list of all of the people that are in this cemetery. So at night, you don't see these. So you have to be very, very careful when you're walking around, because if you fall, that's a horror movie waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. But this place was absolutely crazy. Oh, this is I don't remember. Which one's this one? I don't know. We're going to find out. Oh.
Where are our flashlights?
It comes on there twice. It'll come up in a second. At least it's supposed to.
Where are our flashlights?
Now, what's crazy, I played this for an interview ages ago. I was in Washington. I had somebody try and debunk this and tell me that this is a My Chemical Romance song. Thoughts?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that band. I don't know the songs, but it sure as hell does not sound that way. I tried to debunk this as not your voice, because I thought the voice melodically sounds like it could be your voice, but you can hear your voice in the background.
Yes, you can hear me. You can hear Shelby saying, where are our flashlights? And then you hear me respond to her. And I was also very far away from the microphone, because you guys had set up the microphone, and I was like way away. And also in modern day music, you don't usually hear ba 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 ba. That's not very modern music, in my opinion.
And especially as a young person, if you were 23, I'll call it 23 at that time, you, especially as Kim, would not be singing ba 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 ba. Mm-hmm. Oh, she wants me to play it again here. So this is. It'll play. Hold on, we'll just do it this way.
Where are our flashlights?
Yeah, you can hear Kim in the background, and there's nobody up there.
No, you can hear our voices. Our voices are pretty distant from, because we put it on a headstone. We've left the microphone on a headstone, and
where are our flashlights?
It sounds like me and Shelby are talking about something.
You are.
You say, where are our flashlights?
And then
me and Shelby are talking about something.
Yeah. So, because it sounds like Alex might know this song. Oh, Death Cab for Cutie.
That song was not out. The Sound of Settling was not out. Sound of Settling, I could look that up, but I'm going to tell you, I'm a Death Cab fan, and that song was not out yet.
Hold on. Internet, whoever's out there, look it up for us. So, see, I don't know that kind of music.
I know that song. It came out.
So that's what I was told.
It was out in 2003, but it goes, this is the sound of settling. Ba 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 ba. That's what it sounds like. She's right. That's what it sounds like.
So then where was it coming from? If
It
we
wasn't
were, there was
anyone.
nobody up there. We had video, we had audio. It's crazy. That is so weird. So now we at least know what the song. Oh my God, all these years we've been trying to figure out what the hell the song is. Okay.
It does
So
sound
we,
like, because it goes, but it's more, it's like upbeat. It does sound like the sound of settling. She's right. It does sound like that.
yeah.
And they do say, but that's really strange because I am a Death Cab fan. There's no way you hear me talking. I'm not singing. And I'd
Yeah.
be very unlikely to sing that song because I did like Death Cab, but that's not my favorite Death Cab song. So it does sound
But you
like the
can
sound of
hear,
settling.
I hear your voice because you and Shelby were constantly bickering about flashlights. I can hear you in the like distance. And
Mhm.
I that doesn't sound like me at all. So it's wild that,
Mhm.
you know, and we would have driven up in the Jeep.
Mhm.
So we wouldn't have been playing this in the car because Shelby wouldn't have put it on.
No.
And so it's wild.
And you
So
couldn't
it's
play
not
music
the,
on your phones or anything like that. None of us
nope.
had MP3 players or anything at the time.
And we
were
didn't
pretty,
have
we
the
were pretty,
Radio Shack hack up there because it had
yeah.
to run off of computer speakers.
And we were also pretty fastidious about not playing background sounds or making background noise. Like when there was talking, but we would have never played something that had additional audio. There's also, in my opinion, an old timiness to the sound of this voice.
The sound of the voice. Yeah, I thought that too. Because it has like the cadence of it is different. Just for how, because if it's someone who knew who was a like you know who they are. I couldn't tell you a single song by that Death Cab for Cutie, and because I don't know who they are. And if you knew the song, you would and you were a fan, you would sing it in the way that you were used to hearing it. You would not typically go off kilter, where. And unless you heard it somewhere, it's very strange. Yeah. So this was on an audio recorder, on a Sony audio recorder that was left on a gravestone, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, or in the middle of nowhere. So whoever is listening
They're
in,
Death Cab
you know,
fan. You know, Death Cab for Cuties from Washington. Ben Gibbard is from Washington. Did you know that?
I did not. I didn't even know. Like, I could tell you, I know that that's a band, but I couldn't tell you anything about them.
Do you know who the Postal Service is? That's
They
his other
mail?
band. The Postal Service did more of like kind of dance, like EDM type, more dancey music. They had a couple songs that were featured on commercials, but Ben Gibbard, who actually helped sponsor getting a library built out here in Kitsap County, he put money in on it. Yeah, they're from Washington. Death Cab for Cuties from Washington. Jason, his drummer, my ex-husband actually had a drum lesson from him in Seattle that I arranged. So I've actually met both of them. And so they're from Washington.
A strange theory is that since at this cemetery, we had gone up there, we have seen beer cans, we have seen gravestones knocked over. So clearly people can go, they go up there and party, listen to music. Is there's a chance that something's mimicking something?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe they heard someone listening to music and were singing the song because they liked it. Yeah,
it's wild. This is called all kinds of crazy stuff. Excellent.
That's so fun to actually hear a song that got close. It's pretty close. It's not in the right key. The tune it's just a little different, but it does sound like they're saying that. It does sound like that. That's really interesting.
It totally sounds like that's what they're saying, because that would make sense if someone like a spirit heard it from over there and then hadn't heard anything in a long time, like something that's interactive, an interactive spirit, and then regurgitated it. You're probably not going to get it right the first shot, second shot. You're going to have to hear it a bunch of times. Yeah, it's interesting. I have another EVP from up there. Pretty sure. Oh, nope. I think I just got the one.
Where are our flashlights at?
All right. So now we're moving on to Kingston. This was the Cola Cole building. We got another one. Hold on first. So Strange Talk says, let's make it weirder. The first line is, quote, I've got a hunger, twisting my stomach into knots. That's my tongue is tied off.
Yeah, it goes, I've got a hunger, twisting my
Ooh.
stomach into knots, that my tongue is tied off. That's how it goes.
That's creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which sounds like Starvation Heights, which
Yeah,
all exists. I mean, that cemetery
far.
is like
Mhm.
right down the street. Yeah. They're
Mhm.
they're like a stone's throw away from one another.
Mhm. Wow, how about that?
Yeah. Years
Mhm.
later, you can still dissect cases. I love it.
Yeah.
So this is the Cola Cole building. Now, this is used for like a preschool, like a pre-K kind of situation, daycare kind of situation. But this was 19th century construction. The upper half used to be open. You can tell these windows are kind of closed. It used to be open air. And then in the middle, the trees kind of blocking off. There was like an old school bell. So we got to go in there late at night because we were told that there was activity that was happening.
These cameras, you can suck the power right out of them. Oh, rad. That sounds like down in the kitchen. Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, they're moving dishes.
These cameras, you can suck the power right out of them. Oh, rad. That sounds like down in the kitchen. Yeah, that sounds.
I look. Kim goes, "What is that?" Talk about that. You're going to grab that fear because the part that comes right after it, you're like, let me go check.
Mhm.
And you do. You went into the kitchen and all of a sudden you hear you go, okay, let's add. And you started clanking dishes and you did debunk. Well, you didn't, you showed us that was indeed the sound. So it's almost like in the back of the school, they like would put all the water and the little dishes from the kids that they would hand wash. And while we were in the other rooms, these dishes started clacking. It was wild. I couldn't, it was weird. I did not expect this place to be hot, but it was.
Me neither.
So that was one, just the dishes. A lot of these are just like, yeah, we're just kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this one. So before.
I wonder if that was the stairs.
To the window.
Because I heard it, I just heard it on the audio and stairwell.
Did you catch it?
I didn't.
I wonder if that was the stairs.
So the camera pans. I'll put my pointer on it. I walk out there because we had heard something. We did have the Radio Shack going, and I check one side. And when I turn to the right, there is a black shadow figure that runs away in the window. Remember, this is retro footage. So
Right.
Because I heard it, I just heard it on the audio and stairwell.
maybe on this side.
What? So 2 consecutive shots, right? See that one? What is that over the window?
And you can hear me say, I'm like, what was that over the window? And you can, it's almost like you can hear someone breathing in through their nose. And that's when that goes like, and what's crazy out that window, we're on the second story. There's nothing outside.
Yep. I remember this now. Yeah. Yep.
It was one of those we caught. Rarely, it's like it's hard to catch things when you're in the moment because it's so dark and you really don't catch things. But we did. We caught that right as we were there. These are all kind of the same, similar area. Now, Fort Worden, this one is short. I only brought this one up. And this was the little sailor that moves in between frames because someone mentioned it in their anniversary, in our anniversary footage here. But real quick, Strange Talk says, ghosts should really help around the house. They're talking about doing dishes.
Maybe they were. Maybe they were helping.
Yeah. They're like, we got to take care of these kids. So there's a couple that are just the of the image, and then I show that when we went back, we tried to debunk it. So this is from far away. If you look, come on, mouse, hold on. Right here is where he appears. And now you can really see him. It's almost like he has like blues on, like sailor blues. And then he moves a little further over in front of whatever this was. I think it was one of those lookout little things. Had something behind me. And then this was us debunking it. So you can tell there's one of us is standing here, and it's an actual like full figure. And there's us walking across it.
Yep.
And we couldn't figure out what it was. This particular fort was not used for combat or battle. So we asked those really nice ladies at the lighthouse about it.
Yeah.
And they couldn't tell us anything. So
I
just
just
a fun
remember
fact.
screaming and screaming and screaming, getting stuck inside the super narrow, the water's getting higher, and then she tries to open a door, and then we're like
And you guys are all behind me, and I have nowhere to go but a bolted shut soldered door. Yes, I remember that. Whoever, I can only imagine what somebody heard from the outside.
Oh yeah.
Probably sounded like a horror movie.
Probably.
So for those who have stayed with us or tuned in later here, this is a short, literally a short Halloween short. It's not very long. We were way up in near Starvation Heights out in Olalla, and we decided to make ourselves a little horror movie. There is women screaming in this, so please do not turn up your headphones too loud. But we will. It is quite good. And this was our 1 year picture. Quite good. I love it.
Ah, yes.
I have
All
this
our
on my work
personalities
photos. And summed up in one photo.
This is top tier acting. I just want to point out.
Oh, yeah.
She's an actress.
I still feel bad for how we treated you.
Guys, I really have to pee.
All right.
Really bad.
Shelby, you pull over.
You don't care, right?
No, just be careful.
I'm not going out there with her.
You're gonna have to go by yourself, dude.
Okay.
Go for it.
Flashlight, go. I guess I'll just take my phone or something. I don't know.
Hurry up, though.
Okay, fine.
How dare you have to pee?
I know.
Uh-oh.
Who was that? Oh my god. Oh my god!
It's so good.
Oh my god, go!
Sure.
What is Phil wearing on his face? What's going? Why does he look so scary?
Because he is the bad guy. He did a great job.
He
Great
almost
job.
looks like he has like a ski mask on his face. He looks so freaky.
No, he had like his watch cover, and then he had like a neck cover.
Okay.
And it was good. He did great job. I know what you did last summer. Who? Okay.
Yeah. Spooky.
Yeah. And then these were like these were bloopers. I had to take the audio out because they were of course they had thing. So we literally went out into the middle of nowhere and we filmed this. It was great. I don't remember how we decided that I think it's because we knew it was near Halloween. We wanted to do like a horror movie. Phil did so good. He was so creepy. Look at him.
He was creepy.
Oh my gosh. And then we decided that Sherry was going to be the one that gets taken at the end.
Yeah.
Because she was the fresh meat.
Yep.
That's why she pulled the short stick. I have a
My favorite
I
is
have
just
a blooper though.
everybody, it's quiet. It's okay now. You know, like every classic. Oh, everything's fine. It's fine.
So Strange Talk says buddy system always. Always. Ghost Dog says definitely Del Toro or Spielberg level directing.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
baby. Yep. And then at the end of the night,
Gone. Man, all this ghost honey's making me hungry.
Your Jack in the Box still open?
That sounds good.
Yeah. I'm buying.
Nice.
it's okay.
One of us
Bad
had
guy.
to get out of the car to film that.
That's okay. The bad guy bought us Jack in the Box. We were fine.
I'm sure I had egg rolls. I loved the Jack in the Box egg
So I
rolls.
just like to go on record
Oh, no,
saying
no. Stop. There. What'd you say about egg rolls?
Oh, Jack in the Box had the best egg rolls. They're little egg rolls. You can get them for like $2 and, you know, little snacky.
That was like gut rot food.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Strange Talk says, see, serial killer understands the buddy system. Yep. And then I found this gem. So when I'm going to go to it here in a second. Before we were on air, I mentioned the 31 minutes that will never see air, except for this gold.
Okay.
So I just like to go on record saying that I think this is the best group. Okay. This is the best group. Am I in focus?
Yes.
Okay. This is the best group. We're the most amazing ghost hunters in the world.
There's a lollipop.
And we were on the Sci-Fi Channel, so I just totally want to thank God. And
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna let you finish. But Tabs had the best ghost hunting show in the world.
Fuck that shit. I'm going to swear on camera right now.
Wait, was I Kanye Westing her? What just happened?
You did. You totally did. And that was why I was like, oh, this has to go in. The rest of it cannot see the light of day, but this has to go in. And shortly after this, I believe Shelby has, but am I as pretty as Taylor Swift? Yes.
Oh, man. That's pretty good.
Right. Yep. These are the things that, I create late at night.
I like it. I'm into it.
So I hope everyone enjoyed our little flashback blast from the past, 2009, Girls Investigating Ghosts in the Supernatural Halloween horror short. You got to see Giggs and Kim's Academy Award acting and Noelle being mean and Shelby being mean because she had to pee, and Sherry, R.I.P., being taken by the bad guy.
They came back for you know what? Phil's not in Phil's in that shot, but Sherry's not. So Sherry's just gone.
Yeah.
But Phil's back to bring us some Jack in the Box. So
yeah, he redeems himself. He's like, hey, I'll buy Jack in the Box though. Is that okay? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ghost Dog asked, did she ever get to pee?
I think I was
or you peed yourself.
I think that was me pretending, that was my acting pee, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to drop trowel. Like I wasn't going to, drop my pants for the scene because that's a little, outside my pay grade.
Yeah.
So I think
you got to get a big enough kickback.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That is hilarious. So after we've had a chance to go through all of, like these kind of snippets in time, I know you and I have done a few other investigations together, which I think would be great if you're be something to talk about to come back and do those. We have a Mason Lodge that we've done. We did an investigation over in Seattle, the lake there with the Green Lake murder, which I've talked about before. So that was kind of after things had changed. Do you have any kind of thoughts on any investigations you really think you want to make sure you talk about before we kind of wrap up here this evening?
No, I think we really touched on the highlights of the mall. I mean, it's like you said, it was kind of surprising how active that the Cola Cole building was, and was that the one with the big stair? That was a big staircase, right?
Mm-hmm. You went in and it was like straight up, and then it split at the top.
I
of the
just
step.
remember Shelby, you know, playing the butt trumpet many times.
She farted on the steps.
And the echo was like wild.
Yeah, it's on our like funny trailer on
with
YouTube.
The short skirt, long jacket, cake song. Yeah.
Yes, that is on there.
Yeah. No, I think you really touched on all the memorable ones. So yeah.
Well, thank you, but thank you so much. I've been holding on to all these archive memories, and I do talk about gigs so favorably with all the paranormal people I come across, and it's my stamp in time, because I have literally been in the game now as an investigator since we started in 2008. So it's fun to look back and say like, oh yeah, here's my team and here's all the cool things we've done. And I'm glad that I have somebody that I can share these hilarious moments, because we took the funniness and the seriousness, and we could dance the line and still get down to work. So I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Always happy memories. Yeah.
Well, very cool. I have just want to remind everybody, don't forget, you can go to creepyconfidential.com. You can check out all of the replays. You can hang around because Creeptober, there's tons more stuff coming. Special episodes. We're getting for the horror Halloween special. And I cannot wait to get back in this little creep brain for the fun of October. So having said that, I think thank you again so much for being a part of the show, and Creep Nation, we'll catch you next time right here on Creepy Confidential. Oh my gosh. It won't let us sleep.